What's up, guys? Good morning.
Welcome to another video. I've got Tice and TheOneGoodRoad me ready to do a podcast. We are going to have the podcast on both of our channels, I think. We're not entirely sure on the format yet, but do stay tuned for that. Either part 1 and part 2. And we've got a bunch of different subjects that we're going to talk about. From Q&As to affording how to do our bicycle tours and keeping positive if you're in a down mood when you're bicycle touring or just generally with your bike. And yeah, do you want to say something, Tice, as we're
Well, I'm excited for the podcast. We have the new name Traveling the Good Road, which I came up with I think like a week ago. And this is also the new format. So we used to do a live stream. But now I'm calling with Josef on my phone, and then we're recording it separately so that afterwards we can edit it all together.
Yeah,
and hopefully that works out great.
Change this in the future. As of now, I'm still recording on the phone, but I might try and use a DSLR in the future, but we might have a delay or a time limit on the recording. But anyway, let's just start and see where it goes.
Alrighty.
So one of the things I have written down on my notes here is keeping a positive frame of mind, or being positive as you're riding if you get in one of those down moods, because I think it happens to any of us where
definitely.
In life, or either if you're traveling or on a bike, you have like these down moments, you get depressed or just sad about something, I don't know. And how do we keep ourselves positive? Is it something we just push through? So I'd love to hear what you think, Tice, and then I'll probably add something after that.
Yeah. So the timing is also pretty good, because when I called Josef, he was feeling a little down. He had one of those down moments. Right now he's in this situation where he's trying to go to his next bike tour, but it's not really working out great. And I'm also in that situation where I'm trying
that later.
Start my new bike tour, but right now I feel quite good. But last week I also felt pretty scared to start again after this 3-month bike tour that I did last year. So yeah, we were both feeling a little depressed. Right now I'm feeling better, and one of the things I want to talk about here is a technique that I have been using for the last week, and that is it's called gratitude, and it's just basically kind of like you stop for a minute with anything that you do. Like maybe you're working hard, you're doing something, but you're feeling down. You just stop, you look around, and then you kind of take it in for a minute. You kind of like look around, see where you're at. And for me, I often focus on, that
That's
I'm
not
thankful
bad.
for the situation that I'm in. Even though it's shit, but there are like hundreds and thousands of people that are living even a shittier life, or are in even shittier stuff, like crazy.
It's all relative, is what you're getting at. And I can completely understand that.
And I think that especially we in our situation, that we can travel the world like this. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people that also want to do what we do, but they just can't because they don't have the money, they don't have the chances to do it. So I think that being grateful for that really makes me feel positive again.
Yeah, I think you're right. Even just saying that, it's the simplest thing, but it helps a lot. You're absolutely right. It's so relative, isn't it? Because like you say, people from bloody Africa are just don't even have a life or something. I don't know, or they're trying to make ends meet. Is what I'm trying to say.
They just don't. Maybe they have something that they really want to do, like a dream or something. But they can't. They just don't have the chance to make it come true.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're feeling more inspired, viewers.
Yeah, I
And
hope so
feeling
too.
less positive. I mean, more positive. I
More
completely said that
positive.
wrong. What's wrong with
Yeah,
me? It
just
is
yeah.
10 p.m., so excuse me, I'm a bit tired. But I really want to do a podcast tonight.
Here it's 11
Um,
a.m. by the way. It's like he is in New Zealand right now, by the way, and I'm in the
yeah,
Netherlands. So we're doing this on
it's
a
really
distance, but
weird.
I
I'm not
think it's
getting
working out
used to
good.
it. Um, so, and as I commented on what Tice just said, I mean, I agree, and there's actually not much else I can add to that. I think that's definitely a good way to just like literally just stop and take it in, appreciate, try and move on. It's the only thing
Definitely.
you could do.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
number
It has worked
two,
for me
I've
for
written
sure.
down on my notes. How do you afford your tours? Because I get that question quite a lot from people I meet on the road, where I'm having just a conversation at a cafe or something. It's like, dude, how do you keep doing this? How do you afford this? So, Tice, do you want to start, or shall I mention how I'm
Maybe
doing it, or
you can
whatever?
start this one.
Sure. So, for me, at the beginning, it was around the end of when I was 15, I wanted to tour for some weird reason. And my parents were okay with me doing this. And if I want to cut a long story short, if I'm completely honest, brutally honest here, it was basically my parents' funding from that age to about 16 or 17. And in recent years, last half 1.5 years or so, I've been able to afford more of these things either by crowdfunding the money or myself or savings, for example. So the first few years when I was touring, that was by my parents, and they're really awesome for letting me do that. And I'll leave a link maybe in the description of a map where you can see where I went around for a year. It was basically all of Europe. Then after
Nice.
that, I wanted to go to the United States. That was actually crowdfunded by friends and family. I just created a donation campaign, and they were like chipping in money as I mentioned it. And I got enough money for a plane ticket, and I think it was a little bit of money for the not the flight, the bag. It was a bag that I really needed for the tour. And then along the way, I met so many amazing Americans. I mean, it was just amazing people down in the South who either paid for hotels sometimes or let me stay on their property and just pitch my tent up for the night. And just asking around can be amazing sometimes. You really don't need a lot of money. It's like the first beginning part is this fear and anxiety. But when you're actually rolling the wheels and going through, as long as you don't get in an accident, then make sure you got insurance. Everything's going to be fine. You just got to let things happen and unfold. And that's the only
Yeah.
thing you can do, really. And then in recent years, where I am right now, for the last 4 months, I've been in New Zealand now, and 3 of those months I've been cycling from top to bottom. That was funded by a trip that I had from Canada, which ended up quite poorly, but the insurance money that I got was enough to fly over there, and then my parents helped out a little bit more for the plane ticket and stuff like that. I really couldn't do a lot of these things without my parents, so thank you, Mom and Dad. I'm kind of like praising at the front of the camera.
Great parents,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, that would have called, excuse me. And then after, or before that, in Scandinavia, was also funded via insurance money from an accident. So money kind of just finds its way as long as you let it happen. That's what
Yeah.
I found. Um,
Nice.
and just
Yeah,
picking up an
I
easy job is also another way to just
yeah.
get on by as you're touring.
Yeah,
I did
I
that a little
think
bit in New Zealand.
like what you did, you went through all these countries. Like I think that 99% of all the people would not think that that is possible with the amount of money that you had at that time.
Mm,
Like for me as well, it doesn't necessarily have to cost much. Like you can do it really, really low budget. You can do. I mean, I've seen some guy. He traveled for free, like no money at all. He just asked for money on the way, but he left with absolutely nothing, which is insane.
yeah, I think
I wouldn't
it's
do
it
that.
depends on your comfort level, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's just it's a way of doing things. But I right now my situation, I'm working an early job. I get up 4 a.m. every morning to do the newspapers, and all that money goes into my my travels. Like it all goes into one big pot that I'm gonna spend on my travels. And besides that, I try to keep my costs as low as possible. I think for the viewers that really want to do this, but they cannot find a way to save money, just I think just look at all of your expenses, look at all of where the money is going, and try to cut as much as possible that you don't think is necessary.
Yeah,
That's I
just being
think
more minimal, and as the
yeah,
saying goes in England, it's like living your life by a shoestring, or as you say in Holland, something about living by each paycheck or
paycheck to
something.
paycheck. Well,
Check to
I
paycheck
don't
or
know if
something.
that's actually the same thing. Yeah, living on the shoestring, it's kind of like being minimal. I think
Like
being minimal
you
is good.
basically just you don't have, like, if you go to the supermarket, you get the essential, which is like something to survive on, which is maybe bread, peanut butter, muesli, done, get out.
Yeah,
Stop
like my
buying
parents
soda, you don't
are
need to,
like
just live
it's
on
funny.
water.
Like my parents, they go to the bakery to get these pieces of bread. It's like on Saturdays. It's today Saturday, by the way, so they're probably gonna go there. And there,
Mm,
those pieces of bread that we're getting are like 3 times as expensive as we would get them in a supermarket. So it's just those
right,
small things, and
exactly.
also like my parents also having like loads of magazines, that kind of stuff. Like I am fortunate that I realize, this way to save money at this age because I don't have
Mm.
those expenses yet. But I mean, if you're a little older and you have these expenses, just take a look at them and see like, are they really valuable to you and are they useful? Just are do you need them? And if not, then just throw them in the trash.
I think it's interesting perspective when traveling with my parents because they travel in a much more, I would like to say, luxury way, and I'm just really enjoying it at the moment, and it allows you to just appreciate when you're back in your tent, back in, maybe it's pissing down with rain and you've had a really long day, and you got to go and find your next place on the next day, and it can really make you appreciate um, what it's like really in between those days, and stuff like that where you can really save a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it comes with age that, for example, my dad's on his pension now, so he even gets money monthly just from the government, so he doesn't really need to worry about it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not as simple and dry cut as I say, but it is quite nice to have. And at our age, I mean, unless you say in the UK, unless you say like, "Oh, I'm unemployed, I would like to get money monthly," and I will keep saying I'm finding a job. You can't travel with that. I know some people who've done that, where you're not, where you like travel and you say that you're unemployed, and you're supposed to like have a friend write a check or something. I'm not going to mention any names, but it's not a very good idea because it's not very sustainable. Is maybe the word I'm looking
Mm.
for. Um, but everyone finds their own way on how to afford these things.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary
Yeah, I
saying
think.
all these truthful things over just a conversation which goes back onto YouTube. So I'm just watching my tone of mouth, and I know that there's a lot of judgment which might come to be as
Yeah, a
I'm
lot of people
saying
gonna
these words.
watch this, so
That's
hopefully.
true. There's only going to be about 100,
Anyways,
200 people, so it's going to be fine.
yeah, maybe that would be nice. Anyway, so
Um,
I
yeah.
think that's answered now.
Say again?
I think that that question is pretty much answered now. I don't know if you had any
Yeah.
more Q&As.
Nope, that's as brutally honest as I'd like to be, and if anyone is asking me again, I'm going to refer them to this video.
Yeah,
Now I'm
yeah,
looking for the Q&As, that's why I'm looking at my phone. Sorry about that.
yeah.
Okay.
I can see you, so it's a little hard to imagine what you're doing right now.
That's,
But
yeah, sorry. So now I think the next segment on the notes I have here is maybe doing a Q&A. So I don't know if you have any questions which were mentioned on your channel somewhere or video maybe or something.
I have my screen here. I can take a look. I didn't have many But I haven't really
Um,
uploaded many videos though, so it's kind of. I
but it's
think
no
I had a.
worries. I've got some. Do you have any questions on your Dutch video? Maybe just one question which was on there. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can take a look there. Let's do that.
So I've got a question from Zerks Zigors Majfix. That was really bad pronunciation of your name, man. I'm really sorry. I think he's from Poland. So, excuse
Okay.
that as I'm reading this, I do have a cold, so I hope that I don't make it too even more worse. Um, okay. Hey, I just found your channel, and I'm wondering about the sleeping conditions because I'm a backpacker. I'm traveling with a tent and everything, but I'm recently just bought a bike, and I'm just found your channel, and I'm getting interested in about the way you travel. So, can you tell me anywhere on how you sleep? Do you use hostels, or I'm not sure what pensions is. That must have been a translation error. Um, causing, cause carrying, because carrying a tent on a bike is not a good idea. And one more thing is thieves. Are you aware of them? If you're if you're backpacking and you've got nothing when you're riding a bike, it's not cheap. It's a bit weird on the translation, but what he's getting at is how do I find accommodation, or what do I travel with a tent wise. So basically, you can also answer this if you want, Tice, as well.
Um.
When I was touring in Sweden, I recently made a video about that. You can go and check it up in the iCard up there, or in the description down below, maybe. So when I was touring over there, you'll see that I didn't really camp that much, and that was because I found a lot of couch surfing and couch
Hmm.
surfers, which are really awesome people who say to travelers that, hey, you can come and stay over at my location, just have a chat with me and maybe pay for a meal or something, and you're good to go, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
This,
yeah.
yeah.
Couchsurfing is amazing. I haven't used that app yet, but I think that I'm definitely gonna make use of that. Yeah.
Or
It's
even
it's
just
it's
friends
it's
or
pretty
contacts
cool.
that you stayed with, that's basically
Yeah.
couch surfing as well,
Yeah.
without the whole, superficial app. Also, warmshowers.org is definitely a website worth checking out.
Yeah, that one's also very good
And
for especially for bike tours, more geared towards the bike touring community, and you're often also
it's
staying
a
with people
must.
that bike
It's
tour
a really
themselves, so that's
good
also
good
really
way to
cool.
meet cyclists. Um, and when I was in Sweden, what happens is in Sweden, Finland, and Norway, they have an agreement that you can. It's called the Freedom Act, I think, or the
Yeah,
Freedoms Act, and you
yeah,
can basically just go and camp anywhere with the moose and the
yeah,
very rare
exactly.
bears, which are walking
I
around.
made use of that,
Um,
that's for sure.
yeah, I barely did that. I think I did that like maybe once or twice because I
Oh,
managed to
really?
find people every single day. It was really, if
Wow,
I'm on my
that's
phone and I've
really
got cell phone
cool.
coverage, I'm for some reason really good at finding places. I don't know why. Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's pretty cool, I have to admit. And you meet a lot of people. That's why I sometimes get a
Yeah,
bit strained out by talking with people, because it's like, yeah, I just talked to like 5 people in 5 days, all individually, very genuine conversations. So
yeah,
I'm
like a
gonna be a
whole
bit
new
tired.
relationship every single day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that can get tiring. That's true. Yeah, I
And
also
then
had that in
plus,
Finland. I
yeah,
also stayed for like 3 nights in a row with other people, and they were all amazing people. But sometimes you just want like a night just on your own,
I totally get
kind of.
that.
Yeah.
So, to answer the question, it is possible to travel cheap, and with the tent, that was the other question, wasn't it? The tent is pretty easy, actually. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I just used what was it, an REI tent, which is so in either if you're in Europe, you have Decathlon, which is the big, super sport shop or whatever,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
United States, you have REI. Forget what it stands for, but it's another big version of Decathlon, and they have their own tents, their own company or tents or whatever, which they fund, and they're really cheap. They cost maybe in Decathlon they're stupidly cheap. They're only like 40
Yeah.
euros or something.
Yeah.
Um,
I think like 30 or something. It's insane.
but a decent
Um.
one man tent is probably like, I don't know, 100 or something, 100 euros, 80 euros.
Yeah, I think so.
You should look at
Mine
Amazon.
was 360, but I didn't buy it there. I bought it somewhere else.
Wow.
At least,
I've never
yeah,
spent that much on the tent before.
yeah, it's called the MSR Hubba.
Mm.
So, but it's high end. So this tent will
It's a
last me
good make.
for
It's a good
probably
brand.
years to come.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. My
So
motto is more like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, sort of thing. So
yeah,
if the tent's still fine, I still keep using it, and it's cheap and
yeah,
whatever.
that's
But yeah, they don't
it
last
works.
as long. But
Mm.
and then in the United States, you have the REI version. So that's also like only like $140. Oh, my voice is terrible. Maybe we should think about wrapping this up. So if you've got your
Yeah.
questions, shoot them in
Well, I
the
had what? Yeah,
video.
I was looking at my questions from um. Let's see, from the Dutch, my latest video, bicycle touring the Netherlands, everything you need to know.
Mm.
Yeah, I have one question from Peace 1375. Great and awesome video full of information. Thank you. I plan to cycle long distance in the Netherlands. Please, what's your recommendation for me? Thanks. So I already replied to this comments, but if anyone plans to cycle in the Netherlands, watch this video. This video I think is pretty good. Just general facts about the Netherlands and what it is cycling there.
So we was
Any
asking about
recommendations?
cycling in the Netherlands on a video, which is you explaining cycling in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So my answer is just
Oh my gosh.
rewatch this video and take notes, basically. But yeah, I said in the comments, like, I prefer going west to east. By the way,
Mm.
he wants to do a long distance bicycle touring adventure in the Netherlands, but I mean, the Netherlands is not very big. So you could go in a circle
Yeah.
if you want to, but
From
I
north to
think you
south, it's
can,
only about 400k. So if you felt like
yeah.
getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning and then finishing at like 12 o'clock at night, you could probably do the whole damn country in one day.
Yeah, but
So
I mean, if you want to
it's a bit
stop at
small.
places and just visit them, I said I prefer going west to east because we have the western wind here often.
That's true.
And I
Definitely.
said start in
Agree.
Amsterdam because he's probably gonna fly into Amsterdam, and then I actually recommended him going over the Afsluitdijk, which is that big man-made
Long bridge I talked
road.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, that
It's
separates
really
the
cool.
sea from the lake. So I have a pretty cool picture in this video as well, where you can see like one road, and on one side is like brownish water, and the other side is like greenish water. It's pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
if you can
I'd
cycle
love
there,
to
I've
ride
never
that
done
bridge
that, but
someday. That looks really
it's
cool.
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
really cool.
and and after that, Friesland is a beautiful place, and then south towards Utrecht is also a cool city. You can
Yeah,
go to the
Utrecht's really cool.
Veluwe.
I recommend
Yeah,
that. That's really
definitely.
cool. Mm.
Yeah, and
It's a
not
busy
as
place,
touristy as
but
Amsterdam
yeah.
too. So I love it.
Well,
And
I mean, the
it's getting
construction
more.
going on all the time around there is so obnoxious. It's like, great, there's a new bloody bike path here. Where the hell am I supposed to go now? So,
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
that's how
I
I
mean,
felt.
yeah. So it's getting a little bit more crowded, but I think that Leiden is also a cool city. That's actually close to where I live. You don't really find that many tourists, and it also has an old center. So if you want to check that out, that's also a
Mm.
pretty cool place. So yeah, I think
So,
that's about it for Netherlands. I mean, there are more things, but you can go to the
but
lowest
then
point,
people
which
can
is
watch the whole
7
video
meters
you
below
made
sea
on your
level.
channel. So,
I mean, yeah, just watch the video, I guess.
yeah, just watch the
do it.
video. I mean, that's why
I
we made
mean,
them. So,
yeah, I don't really know. I
um,
don't really understand the comment anyway.
yeah, that's some of the comments are funny. That's why when I was reading through that, it's like, is this like Polish to English translation or something? What's going on here?
Yeah,
Um,
like I have this one guy. He's called Miroslav Chokic, and this guy is pretty stubborn. He only comments in his own language, which is like Serbian or something. So I have to translate it, and this time I also replied in Serbian, like "thank you" or something. He said good information, but you have
That's funny.
those people.
Alright, thanks for watching the video, guys. Definitely leave a thumbs up. We're going to finish up with Q&As now, and if you have any more questions, leave them down in the comments below. You could definitely check out Tice's channel if you're on my video at the moment. vice versa if you're on Tice's channel.
Yes,
check
definitely.
out mine. And that's pretty much it. You want to add anything else on that, Tice?
Well, yeah, the links are in the description below, so check those out. If you have any suggestions for things we have to talk about later, maybe doesn't have to be bike touring related, can also be anything else. Leave them in the comment section
download
below.
Our
and yeah, please.
Before I forget, you can download the Traveling the One Good Road podcast down at your website.
Yeah.
You can download it there.
Yeah, so if you want to download this podcast series, I'm gonna have a SoundCloud playlist on my website, so you can download it there. And then you can listen it wherever you want.
All right, cool.
All right,
that works really well.
awesome. Well,
see you guys later.
See ya.
Ciao. Thanks for listening.
Bye.